is it you pray for?
Greetings and welcome to the 22nd episode of Abyssal Musings. My name is Samuel the Infamous, and with me is my co-host Lawrence Knight.
What's going on, everybody?
Shadow, I wasn't fucking late. I saw that shit. I had 30 seconds left when you said that, by the way.
Yeah, Shadow Pup.
All right. Yeah, man. How's your week?
You know, things have been pretty good. I can't complain. I've had a nice quiet week, so
Yeah, well, fair enough. Hasn't been too bad today. There's been it's been kind of an up and down roller coaster on my end, but here we be, and here we are. So I see we've got I see Kohai. Hey Kohai, good to see you. Remind me, I got to get with you about that that file. It didn't we gotta convert it over to an MP4. Sorry about that. It took me so long to get back to you about that. Hi Michelle. I see Shadow being Shadow. Oh, and by the way, if you think I wasn't listening earlier when you stole my fucking closing stinger, I was. I heard it all. Stop it. Alexia, good to see you. We have, I thought I saw, yep, Logical Spock is with us. That's not him. That is. I see Boa in the chat, and we've got Carrie with us as well. So good to see all of you. Glad you made it. And there's Beak. Good deal. Good to see you. So we have an agenda as per.
we always have an agenda, but
so as per Larry and his organizational skills that put the rest of us to literal shame. But there's something that I want to play for y'all here that I saw it earlier today, and I think some of you may have seen this, but we're going to go ahead and share it here anyway, because I think it's just, I mean, you'll see. 1 second while I bring up the dealio here. Okay. We should have sound quality. All right, here we go.
This little reunion about to crack. We got the whole crew back.
Really, bitch? A cabin in the woods.
Now let's get it all in perspective for all y'all enjoyment.
You still a slave to the white man?
I'm gonna start calling my wife the white man, all right?
Newness, here's the anthem. Put your hands up that you shoot with.
But we don't on Juneteenth.
Oh, hell no.
I'm gonna pause it for a second because I didn't realize I wasn't thinking music might be a problem, but whatever. I'm not monetized. Anyway, so far, what do you think?
What the hell?
Yeah. Well, I saw this earlier, and my initial instinct was like, oh, the Wayans are back in business. God damn it! It just cut out on me.
This little reunion about to crack. We got the whole crew back.
Really, bitch?
All right,
I'm gonna start calling my wife the white man, all right?
All right, let's just play it through.
This here's the anthem. Put your hands up that you shoot with.
But we don't on Juneteenth.
Oh, hell no.
Where are you going?
Look for the fuse box.
What kind of house is this? No, thank you.
The Black.
That's the name of this movie, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa! Jim Crow Monopoly.
What the?
Racism.
I mean, and it just keeps going. It gets worse.
Pick a card and save Morgan.
What do you mean save Morgan?
Refuse to play, and she dies.
I think we have to play the game. In your predicament, the Black character is always the first to die. I will spare your lives if you sacrifice the person you deem the blackest.
The blackest?
Nobody should judge anybody in here, bro.
You have 2 minutes to decide.
Sneak.
I mean,
well, he's not wrong.
I
mean, being a bit of a film buff myself, especially with horror movies. I mean, Scream 2. I don't know if you ever saw Scream 2. If you did, you remember the cameraman was black, and Gail's cameraman was black,
Mhm.
and she was like, "Yeah, come with me," and he was like, "Hey, we don't last long in these types of situations," and he was trying to
Yeah.
get out of there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. I think it got brought up in a movie called Primeval. I don't know if you saw that about um, Gustav in Burundi.
I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it.
Good movie, but Orlando Jones is in it, right? And there's a number of statements about exactly that kind of thing. Um, and then I think he said something similar in Evolution with David Duchovny too. So, but yeah, this exactly, Shadow. This feels like a Saw ripoff, but racist. You know?
I mean, it probably is, but I mean, honestly, like I don't care about the title. The board, the Ouija board looks funny as hell. So, I mean, it is. I mean,
Yeah.
and,
So
and I'm wondering who wrote it. Who wrote
I
it? Who's directing it?
I don't know. I haven't looked that far into it because I'm not 100% convinced that this is even a real thing. It might just be a parody video somebody put together and put out there, but it, it kind of looks like a real movie trailer. You know?
Yeah, it does. It's very well done.
So, all right.
Because she say nigga the most.
Nigga.
See?
Wait.
Y'all can't pick me.
Hey, YouTube, that was the trailer, not us. Just saying.
I'm gay.
Oh, Clifton. Yeah,
I can prove I'm not the blackest.
prove it.
I've never seen Friday. I voted for Trump.
What?
Twice.
So of course they go after him, right?
According to what I just looked up, this is a real movie.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, in just a few minutes, Carrie, I'll try and get you those answers.
Yeah, it's coming out in the United States. It's coming out in June, but somewhere else it came out last year back in September. Oh, okay, the Toronto Film Festival. So
Oh,
it was
God,
just a
God damn
screening.
it.
But yeah, this is a real movie.
Ain't about to crack. We got the whole crew.
Sorry about that. Apparently there's a freaking time limit on how long I can keep this shit up. So, but yeah, we'll get to those answers here shortly. So, all right, let's just finish the thing. We got a minute left.
Playboy, your time's up. We need a plan.
I'm saying, don't you dare.
Don't say this dumb shit.
We have to split up.
Your time has run out. It's time to die.
There's a crazy person out here hunting us. You got Rosa Parks on your shirt, right? Would she be sitting down right now?
I mean, that's exactly what she did.
You can shut up.
I'll admit that's pretty funny.
Yeah, you know what? What's going to be interesting is how this movie is received once the advertisement really gets pushed. Because
Right.
I didn't know I'd never even heard of this until you brought it up.
It just dropped, I think, yesterday or today. I think it was today.
Made you look.
I like how he corrects how he's holding his weapon too. That was a nice touch.
What, Sideways?
Made you look.
Yeah. The other guy
Oh no,
reaches over and like
that's a LA gang thing. That's very common. It's been
I
they've been doing
know,
it for
but
years.
it's also a whole lot less accurate. But so it was just funny that the other guy reached over and corrected him on that. That was pretty funny.
Why black women gotta save everyone all the damn time?
Oh, made you look.
He'll stop playing.
I got a gun.
That's 2 DMX. What are you doing?
Yeah, folks. So that is a real thing, apparently.
So it sounds to me like it's a parody of what happens to black characters in horror films. So it's kind of like I can see the Wayans. I wouldn't be shocked to find out that one of the Wayans wrote this.
Yeah, it would be pretty good right there, Carrie.
So I'm looking it up. So one of the characters, one of the actors in the movie actually wrote it.
Huh.
Him and some other lady. And I figured whoever wrote it had to be black. Nobody else is gonna get away with that.
Right.
And even with that, there's probably gonna be some heat attached to it. I mean, who knows? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how this movie is received. But it is a exploitation of horror movies. It's something, like I said, it's something that I can see the Wayans doing. So who knows? We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, if it's a Wayans Brothers movie, it's probably going to be pretty friggin' funny because I haven't seen anything that they've did that wasn't at least a little funny, and most of it's hysterical. At least in my opinion, I really enjoyed Don't Be a Menace.
Yeah.
That's a fun fucking movie. But yeah, like even just when you talk about the acting, like Damon Wayans has had some really good characters.
Carrie wants to know more about the writer, Dwayne Perkins.
Well, let's see. Let me.
Born and raised in Chicago, it looks like. He's a comedian. He does some TV stuff. He appeared in Wild and Out, Saved by the Bell reboot, Brooklyn Nine. Oh,
What's up, JB? You just missed the blackening.
According to Wikipedia, he's gay. I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, I mean, he's done some stuff, but his acting list is pretty short.
Yeah, I don't. That's what gets me about it is like, why in the hell does it matter if he's gay?
I don't know.
Either the dude can write or he can't. That has nothing to do with where he sticks his penis. you know?
So
yeah.
While
anyway,
while we're trying to figure out what in the hell, what the point of what this guy is trying to do, and the funny thing is, I'm actually interested in going and watching the movie. I'm actually interested. I think this is gonna be my cocaine bear. So, but guys, we want to officially thank you guys for showing up tonight. We know it's late. You guys could be anywhere else, but you've been here with us. You guys have been loyal. We appreciate it. Thank you for sticking with us as we're trying different things, trying to see what works and what doesn't. As for tonight, hey, we've got a pretty good list. We've got another video too to show you guys. We've got hopefully we get to it, but we actually have a trivia tonight. And we've got a few other topics. Some I think is pretty funny. Others will scratch your head, but we definitely have. I think we have a pretty entertaining show tonight. So with that said, have we greeted everybody in the chat? Of course we have, right?
I believe so. Shout out if we missed you.
Any chat questions? Questions from the chat.
Michelle, I haven't had a chance to look. I will look as soon as I can. Right now is not an optimal moment. Okay. So
I'll make sure it gets done, Michelle. Don't worry.
All right. Let's see.
What, Carrie? You didn't tell me to go Why would I tell you that?
Well, Carrie, if it makes you feel better, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't
you're
know
on your own with that one, bro.
why you want to hear that, but okay. Uh, all right, so
Starting things off. So, unless you had something to say.
no, I was trying to figure out like what was the name of the person who wrote this, Tracy Oliver and Perkins?
Oh, the movie? It's
Yeah.
Dwayne Perkins and some lady named Tracy Oliver. And I think I've heard of her before. I've heard of her before, but her list is a bit small too. I mean, her first television gig, according to Wikipedia, is The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. Never heard of it. Don't know what it's about.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. But yeah, all that stuff is like freely up on Google Carry too. So why are people freaking? Oh, okay.
So, guys, last week, we received a poem from Michelle. Unfortunately, it was too late for us to read it. As you guys know, Michelle is a family woman. She's got things to do. Um, and so by the time she came on board, we were closing up. So I told her that I would read the poem this week and that I put it on the actual program for tonight, and I did. So before we head into tonight's festivities, we are going to start things off with Michelle's poem from last week, and it is called, I believe it's called My Scarlet Eyes. Yep, that's what it's called. Here we go. My scarlet eyes, scarlet hollow eyes, belly the frail soul of a dark beauty. She lives in me each night at sunset. Beautiful dark soul. She rises, she shares my scarlet eyes. She haunts my dreams, whispering to me, falling, beautiful sin of my fears. She lives inside me, my darkness, my scarlet eyes. Little girl, bleed the nightmares of the world we created in our tears, scarlet eyes. Betray the day and kiss the coming night. My demoness, my scarlet eyes. She haunts my dreams, whispering to me, fallen beautiful sin of my fears. She lives inside me, my darkness, my scarlet eyes. Will I drown you? Will I lay in my own field of blood, red roses of my pain? She shares my scarlet eyes. She haunts my dreams, whispering to me, fallen beautiful sin of my fears. She lives inside me, my darkness, my scarlet eyes. She's beautiful in the dark, hush little girl, swallowed by the screams of the nightmare you gave life behind my scarlet eyes. She haunts my dreams, whispering to me, fallen beautiful sin of my fears. She lives inside my darkness, my scarlet eyes. 10. What do you guys think?
As always, very evocative with the imagery.
Yeah, that gave me some very, very vivid gave me a very vivid picture. Yeah, Alexia likes it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, Beak. You're welcome, Michelle.
I got Logical Spock.
Yep.
Also, I believe likes it. Yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. All right, man. I gotta get that trailer out of my head. This was one of those situations, guys, where I saw it, so now you have to. Sorry.
It's all good, guys. There's a few things happening this week. I didn't even know about the whole Black Tinkerbell thing until this morning. I got up and I just saw a little bit of something, people screaming and hollering about it, and I just Well, you know what? I'll be on Ryan's show tomorrow. I'm sure he's gonna bring it up, and I'll reserve my opinion for
Oh yeah,
him.
you guys are definitely talking about that tomorrow.
Yeah,
That's
I'll reserve my opinion for that.
excuse me. Real quick, I did see something from JV that I think was pretty funny.
You know what? See, I was willing to drop the war. I was willing to drop it.
Well, you can argue about it with him to his face tomorrow night because he'll be
I
there
plan
too.
to. I was gonna leave it alone. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, Carrie, and yes, it will be, and I will make sure to definitely link that in a community tab so you guys can easily find it if you don't already have Ryan's channels links, or you can obviously go through the descriptions on previous SITVs that he's been on. His links are on there too. So, yeah, you guys are definitely covering that tomorrow.
Yeah, nice try, Shadowhawk. Nice try.
That's just
My loyalty, but
you know. He's not talking about your loyalty. He's talking about his loyalty, and you know what that means, right? He's telling you he's a hooker.
I guess he's admitting it without admitting it. But moving on, moving on. So I wanted to talk about this, even though I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I couldn't get I wanted to see it with my wife, and she was not having it. She had no interest in seeing it. Those of you who have seen Cocaine Bear, and I hear that it's pretty good. I hear that it's pretty good, you know, for what it is. I have not heard one bad review about it, which I was kind of shocked because I was sure that you know how critics are, you
Mhm.
know, or even even some
He-
moviegoers,
yeah,
they
or
find one
yeah,
thing they don't like. Oh, the bears, the bear's left fingernail wasn't long enough, and they want to destroy the whole movie because of it, or maybe it's a professional critic who didn't get paid enough money to say nice things about it, and next thing you know, they're, oh man, well, he jumped in the lake and the lake looked like toilet water, and just whatever.
yeah. See, Shadow, I don't see where you're getting Bayformers and you could just say Transformers. He's the only person who's made Transformers movies since the fucking 80s. Because Michael Bay really loves his over the top explosions. There was none of that. You know? Um, but yeah, Shadow has been pretty vocal about he found it disappointing and mediocre and not bloody enough apparently. And he knows I disagree with him on that. And I also believe that he and most of his generation are entirely too desensitized to violence. I mean, did you watch Invincible, Lawrence?
Yeah, long time ago.
Okay, so yeah, you know, I mean the superhero cartoon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I've
Shadow
seen it.
says that
Woo.
wasn't violent enough.
Something's wrong with Shadow.
Yes, that's what I
That was the
said.
most violent cartoon that I have ever seen.
I mean, it wasn't the most violent one I've ever seen, but it was one of the more violent ones I've seen that came from a Western studio. Sure.
That's what I mean. I mean, it shocked me. I was like, "Whoa, this came out of the West."
So, but yeah, and he does he's right. That is something that Shadow does have right. Like I saw Cocaine Bear this weekend. If y'all hadn't seen my post about it, and I friggin' loved it for the most part. There were a handful of things that I will agree with Shadow on. I think they had one too many subplots, so they were trying to balance too many characters and too many storylines, and they really didn't need to focus on all that. And he's right about that. There was too much of that going on, and it kind of it slowed the pacing down. And that part wasn't great. But the bear itself, I enjoyed the bear. I enjoyed the bad things that the bear did, and like, come on, guys, it's like Snakes on a Plane tells you everything you need to know in the title. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. you know, it's just it is what it is. It's about a bear on cocaine, and obviously the ancillary people who are in the area. But yeah, it's not a complex movie. And again, Shadow, I'm gonna say something to you. I think you saw the chat that I left in your earlier stream, but some homework for you. If you want to get into some real bad but fun movies, go watch Where's Skeeto, Nazi Hunter, and do it with the closed captions on, not subtitles, closed captions, like the black box at the bottom of the screen. Trust me, it enhances the fucking movie. And secondly, I want you to watch that and get back to me because I want to discuss that with you, because it is a very bad movie, but it's very fun at the same time. I'm not going to go into details about it, but yeah, go watch that. And yeah, I mean, they weren't going to kill everybody. You knew that going in. There always has to be, there's got to be human interest. And given who was directing it, I'm kind of surprised it didn't go more, because there was like one white dude who was left over at the end too, and he was straight. And I was pretty surprised he made it through. So, given who was directing it, but yeah, so I can agree with some of what you're saying, man. But and I have that same problem with like the new Godzilla movies, the new stuff that Lionsgate's been doing there. Too much focus on the humans, not enough squishing of the humans, frankly. So I get that, but Cocaine Bear was a dumb movie. It was really dumb, but I liked it. I liked it a lot.
So like I said, it was good for what it was. It's just something that gets you to just escape reality and just enjoy something that's just off the wall.
Shadow, yes, that's exactly correct. Now, there are two movies that are like that. One of them is called Mansquito, and it was made by Sci-Fi Channel, and it's utter crap. Corin Nemec's in it, and he's about the only thing worth watching. But the rest of it's just terrible. But this was done I think it came out in 2019 or 2020, and it's done in the same style as the 50s black and white schlocky horror movies. And they actually have some really decent prosthetic work, but it's so goofy. And trust me about this. Trust me about the closed captions. You have to have those on. It's so much better with those on. It also has a mad Nazi scientist who has the single worst German accent by way of Wisconsin I have ever heard in my life. It's hilarious.
That bad.
Well, it's a guy from Wisconsin faking a German accent. So yeah.
Oh boy, so he's fighting in the Midwest. Oh yeah.
It's so bad, but it adds to the flavor of the movie. And yeah, where Skeeto was a guy, he was a Nazi experiment, and then he goes on a revenge spree because Nazis turn him into half man, half mosquito. That's the whole thing. Anyway, go watch the movie and then get back to me.
I wonder if his nose was long.
He had a proboscis, yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
So I am happy to report the Joker is correct on this. Cocaine Bear kicked the crap out of just about everything.
Yeah, it
did. Should tell you that just about everybody who still goes to the theater. This is the first movie I've been to the theater for in some time. But most people who still go to the theaters are kind of tired of all the same shit that's being presented to them. So they will go see a terrible movie about a bear that's super fucking high.
Yeah, it even beat that new Ant-Man movie. I mean,
that wasn't a surprise. That one was going to drop off hard, especially after they started. It got out that it was openly promoting communism.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I don't think I've seen that one, Alexia. I might have to look that up.
Frankenstein's Army. Yeah, I'll have to look that up too. I'll throw one out at you guys. It's a classic series. Ginger Snaps.
Ginger Snaps is a fantastic movie.
Yep. The whole series. I know it starts out modern, and then they go back like way back in time to like medieval times, and then Catherine Isabel. I think they do another one after that where Catherine Isabel she's not in it, and the girl that plays her little sister. Then it solely becomes about her.
Emily Perkins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have all three of the movies on DVD because I actually like them quite a bit, and I think Catherine Isabel and Emily Perkins both just fucking killed it in them. They were both fantastic in those. And we're always bitching about the message being inserted in and everything, and like this and that and all that. I think if you want to look at how to do certain messaging correctly, go back and look at little independent films like Ginger Snaps. I mean, the whole thing, they use werewolfism or lycanthropy as an allegory for how do I put this delicately, becoming a woman.
Yeah, they sure do, especially the first one.
And it works. It works in the context of the film, and the characters are great.
Yeah, and it was I wouldn't say weird, but it was a trip watching this girl turn into a werewolf slowly and become, like you say,
See you
a
later, JB.
woman, become a woman, so to speak, and it go through those hormonal changes. And the more she went through those hormonal changes, the less human she looked.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
and the more feral her behavior was, and
yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
it's like she just slowly changed, and then boom, it just hit her.
Yeah.
The transformation just went full on.
Yeah, that was it was a solid movie. It's an independent Canadian flick. And the sequel deals with other themes, but it does it very, very, very well. And it's almost like a whole different kind of movie, but it's also it's quite a bit more psychological, I think, than the first one is. But also very, very good. And Emily Perkins turns in a stellar performance in that one. So, but yeah, so you guys should go watch those because they're good.
Check those out. Now, here's a question for you, Sam, and for the chat. Now, this is gonna be a complete curveball. Told you guys we're trying new things. I know we've dabbled a little bit. Some of you have expressed interest in science, and we've definitely expressed a little bit of an interest in it. And so I got the idea. I looked up something. I heard about this years ago, and I was fascinated by it, but I never looked at it into detail until the other day. And then I got the idea of looking at it. So Jupiter, the planet Jupiter. I'm sure you know where I'm going at with this.
Not off the top of my head.
All right. So when I was a kid, I used to always wonder why, with all the asteroids and everything that's floating around out there, why Earth hasn't been hit as often as you would think. And I remember watching this science show years ago, and it was saying that Jupiter's gravitational pull actually protects Earth from the asteroids. It acts like the gravity acts like a boomerang, literally flings asteroids and other debris away from the Earth.
That's weird because the asteroid belt's between us and Jupiter.
And that's what I was thinking, but apparently its gravity keeps it in check. It kind of swerves them around and keeps them in check. But then I started doing more research, and I came across two articles. One was dated 2015, and the other is dated 2020. And apparently, according to these articles, it was saying that there are proven instances of Jupiter's gravity actually grabbing asteroids and actually fling that, there were asteroids that were headed towards Earth, as gravity actually grabbed them and actually flung them in a different direction. But likewise, there's also incidences where they've seen it where Jupiter's gravity snatched an asteroid that wasn't headed towards Earth and actually flung the asteroid at Earth, and but it missed. So I just thought it was I think it's just amazing that a planet that big, you've got this thing where on one hand it could be protecting us against something, and then on the other hand it's almost like a time bomb.
Well, it is in another sense as well. I mean, Jupiter's size and mass and its composition, it's really only one or two major chemical reactions away from becoming a second sun, which would be the end of us.
Yeah.
We would cook. We'd be too close to it. and it would. I mean, on the other hand, I don't know. Maybe Pluto would see some life, but but everything between us and the main sun would just fry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Jupiter's an interesting planet. It has I think it has the second largest number of moons. I think Saturn actually has the record of somewhere in the like 87 moons for Saturn, and I think it's like 72 for Jupiter.
87 moons. Can you imagine what those moons look like from Saturn's surface?
Well,
If you
Saturn is
can see
also a
them.
gas giant, so yeah. But
Oh,
yeah,
then yeah, you're not seeing nothing.
you're not seeing shit.
You're not seeing anything.
If you stand on the surface of Saturn, you are going to be crushed into such a tiny little dense ball of like human goo that you won't be seeing shit ever again.
Yeah.
So
And actually, I don't even think you'll make it that far to even you'll
Mhm.
just get crushed by the gravity alone. I mean, I don't even think like you said it's a gas giant. Saturn and Jupiter, I don't even think they don't even have a surface, so to speak. They kind of, you know, there's a
what surface is there is a very dense liquid.
yeah, there's a YouTuber that actually did science videos on it was like what would happen if you were an astronaut. Let's say you were wearing a spacesuit that could withstand anything, and he actually showed an illustration of a person falling through Jupiter and I think a few other planets, and he was explaining what would happen at each level if you were outside that suit, what would happen to you. He was explaining how hot it gets, how cold it is. So I was like, man, this is space is I've always had an interest in it,
Mhm.
but just looking at Jupiter's gravity and just thinking, wait a minute. So this thing, on one hand, it's saving us from debris and asteroids and all these things, and actually flinging them out of the way. And then on the other hand, it's throwing stuff at us.
Yeah, well, you also got to keep in mind too, like you couldn't get too close to Jupiter anyway. Like none of its moons haven't much of an atmosphere to speak of, except maybe is Io and Europa with Jupiter or those with Saturn? I know Titan's with Saturn. I think Io and Europa are Jovian moons, but even so, it isn't enough to protect you from the sheer amount of radiation that's coming off of that world. I mean, it's like you get close enough to it, you might as well be, standing next to an open microwave. It's just going to cook your insides from all the radiation that it's putting off, because it puts off a ton of radiation. Not quite enough as like to match an active sun or anything like that, but it's still much, much, much more than you're going to get from a rocky world. Because I mean, even Earth's got its own radiation. It's just not, it's something we're adapted to. Whereas it would not be good. We'd be dead in like minutes, if that.
Yeah, I was about to say I would think seconds.
Mhm.
I don't think we'd last a few minutes.
Io's Jupiter. Thanks, Alexia. I don't know what you guys are going on about.
What in the world's going on in the chat,
I
dude?
think they're referencing some science fiction lore that I'm not familiar with. Yeah.
But yeah, I was just looking at that. I'll have to find that video, and see if we could check it out sometime. Just like just bits and pieces of it. But it's so interesting. I'll look it up, and I'll give you guys the information so you can watch the video on your own time.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't take too seriously, Carrie. Shadow says a lot of dumb shit.
He does. Don't worry. He'll be taken care of on Thanksgiving.
It's like we love him. He's our shadow, but our shadow is also kind of our lofty pixels.
Yeah.
But yeah, it actually in terms of colonization with Mars, Michelle, yes, but you're talking like 100 years minimum after we set foot on it. and that's assuming everything goes well and goes according to plan. It's probably closer to 2 centuries before we would ever see anything viable like that. But yeah, it's doable. It's just it's not within our lifetimes. It'd be a generational thing. Everybody who'd be there would have to work on it for generations. Everyone on Mars would have to devote their whole lives to it. But yes, it's possible. I don't know if likely, and I think that that is the plan, is eventually to do that. A more interesting proposition to me, as much as I love Mars, would be Titan, which is almost completely toxic to us, but also shows some promise for like mining and that sort of thing. Uh, there was a really interesting movie. I don't know if you saw it, Larry, on Netflix with Sam Worthington called The Titan.
I think I saw it.
Yeah, it was about volunteers who volunteered for, funny enough, mRNA treatments to alter them so that they could survive on Titan.
How much you want to bet that's actually happening?
It might be. I don't know. The
'Cause
movie
I
was
know
pretty good in it.
Mars has been the destination for a while.
Yeah. It could be happening. I don't know. I know that the movie was pretty good. Some of it was pretty plausible. Some of it was just, I mean, it was obviously a science fiction flick, but I'd recommend that one if you guys have Netflix or, yo ho me hearties, whatever. But yeah, the Titan was pretty good. It had some interesting ideas in it that I liked. You know what happens then, Shadow? You're gonna end up looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Total Recall. Your eyes all bugging out.
Yep.
You know? So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so sorry, I kind of,
No, no, no. I'm just, like I said, going with the flow, man.
yeah. So here we are. There we be. God, I'd love to set foot on Mars, though.
You can have that. We, my people, we don't last long in situations like that.
Well, in extreme situations like that, we generally don't either, but we love taking that first step.
You go right ahead and don't trip.
Yeah, no shit. No, it's just been something that I've been interested in since I was a little kid. It's like I grew up hearing all about the moon landing, seeing talks and papers from astronauts and that kind of thing. And so, yeah, like I figured, I mean, hell, like all of us, man, I figured we'd have flying cars, jetpacks, and fucking personal robots by now. As it
Well, you
turns
know that's
out,
coming.
yeah, well, it should have been like we all thought it would be here by now. We thought we'd have a habitable place on the moon by now that we would be like, transiting back and forth from, you know. Sometimes reality is disappointing. But yeah, I think down the road Mars is the next stop, which is interesting because while it's abundant in some elements, in others not so much, and some of those are necessary for life, like water. It does have water. It just, I don't know if it has enough to sustain a world's worth of fucking colonists. So who knows? But it's an interesting thought. Odds are those first guys are going to get out there and they're going to die from the cosmic radiation because Mars's atmosphere is nominal.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, you guys go on first.
Yeah. But, these kind of endeavors, man, they don't, somebody has to take those first steps. Somebody has to lay that foundation for the ones to follow.
Well, Samuel, be my guest. you you go right ahead.
Aren't the seas like sulfuric on Europa? I'm not so sure I want to go swimming in that.
Yeah, I was about to say I have no plans on finding out. Ever. And I mean ever.
Right.
Now, moving on. Guys, I don't know if you've been watching well, I'm sure you guys have been watching YouTube all this week. There is a I don't know what it is, but YouTube's algorithm has been, I wouldn't say wonky. It's kind of been all over the place with me. Um, I'm getting 2 and 3 year old videos from that Amira did. I'm seeing videos that are 10, 11, in some cases 14 years old.
Isn't it recommending to you things that you've already watched in the last
No,
year or two? Because it's
no,
doing that to me too.
no. It's recommending videos. I mean, shows that I didn't even know existed. Like, now this one in particular, there's another YouTuber that used a segment of a video to show his point about. It was one of those issues, guys, where you know how we have this thing going on right now with between men and women, and feminism and all the whole thing. And I'm not just saying just feminism in itself, just just the divide that's going on right now, with men and women not really understanding it themselves. And basically what happened with the video that I saw was this young lady was threatening one of the guys on the panel, and he was a guest, and she got upset because someone sent in a super chat and asked the guy. He said, would you rather sleep with a trans female or the oldest woman on the planet? And the guy said, well, I'd rather sleep with the oldest woman on the planet, because if I slept with the trans woman, that would make me gay. And this girl just blew up at him. I mean, and when I say blew up, some of the girls that were sitting next to her were just like, "Oh, that's mean, bro. Why are you saying that, bro? Why'd you have to say that?" Well, this one girl, started threatening him. She was threatening to beat him up and do all kinds of stuff to him, and she was like, "How dare you say that? You're transphobic, and and it's not gay to sleep with a trans woman." And he said, the guy said, trans women are biological males. That is a proven fact. She was like, "You can't say that," and he said, "It's a fact." The girl rage quit. The girl rage quit, got up and stormed off. Right now, here's the funny part. I actually went looking for that video. I had never heard. I had never heard of this. That's funny, but I had never heard of this YouTube channel. Right, and the name of the YouTube channel is called Whatever. And it was Officer Tatum that showed the little clip. Um, Now, here's the funny thing: is that particular video, I believe, was like it's like 2 or 3 months old. They had that girl back on today, or yesterday, I should say. So she was back on there with this other girl named that calls herself Real Femme Sapien, and apparently, I think she was. I haven't watched the whole thing, but she was a bit more reserved this time, and I know why, because I went back and actually watched the video where the clip that Officer Tatum showed. That was the end of, if I'm not mistaken, was like a 2 or 3 hour stream. What he didn't show was even worse than what that girl did. In fact, let me share this.
Real quick while you're pulling that up, Michelle, if you like their content, great. I don't know. I'm not subscribed to them. I'm not going to. I show up when Amira's on, when she lets me know that she's on. But other than that, like, I have no interest in their content. So if you enjoy that thing, that stuff, go for it. Don't let me tell you who you can and can't subscribe to. Do whatever you like. But yeah, in this case, you're on your own. No offense. I'm not doing Jerry Springer on fucking YouTube.
All right, you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. If you guys can hear this.
Hold on there.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be able to full screen it.
You see. All right. So listen carefully. Right.
Eric, hide the chats just while she says
So this is okay. Actually, this is good because it shows a part of my thing.
Okay, now what this guy asked, what he asked her was, now some of these girls do OnlyFans something. Now this is the one. This is the woman, the girl in particular that I'm talking about. Um, she does OnlyFans, and she's married, but she's straight up far left. Uh, I believe I forget what she does. She wasn't really talking much, and she was kind of quiet, but not really, and was kind of agreeing with them.
Yeah, that one on
Now,
the far right that you were saying wasn't talking much. Doesn't need to. Her tits are hanging out.
yeah, yeah. Now here's where I'm going to give you guys some context before I play this. These girls, 10 minutes prior to this point, to where to where I've got to stop at, these women spent 10 minutes straight calling 40-year-old men who date 21-year-old girls pedophile, p-files. I'll just say that, okay? Because they don't understand, they don't believe that men who have to work hard to create their value, and by the time they're really worth anything, they're 35, 40 years old. They don't think it's right that men who are naturally hardwired to want to date younger women, they don't think it's right, and they think it's predatory that men of that age would date a legally grown woman. So I've noticed it not just here but in other places, that is this is the new insult that they're doing now. Because, and really what it's about is, they want to know why they can't get a date. They know why, when they know why they're having problems getting dates. It's because of what they're doing. And when they get in their 30s and stuff like that, they're getting upset because the men that they want aren't going after them. They're going after the 21-year-olds. So now this whole calling these men in their 40s, calling them p-files, that's the new shaming tactic now. They're all pedophile, and it's not just these girls. I've been hearing this the last couple of weeks, just out of nowhere. All these women are now calling these guys p-files, but really they're just pissed off because these are the guys that they want, and those guys won't date them because of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't see the two guys on the other end, right? But they
Mhm.
was quiet. They let them talk through the whole thing. Now the host just asked them. He's saying, "What is the weirdest thing that you guys have ever sold to a client, to a customer?" Now remember, she's not an OnlyFans model. She's a bartender. She's a bartender. Now I'm not saying that it's not weird that somebody goes back and dates that age. I understand it. I mean, even I would kind of raise my eyebrow. But to call somebody a p-file,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
YouTube, what Larry means by p-file is subhuman child fucking degenerates.
Okay. We, I don't know
I
what you
just thought I'd clear that up.
Yeah, but like I said, it's the new shaming tactic. But anyway, so this girl starts off. Some of the girls said, "Yeah, I sold my bathwater, this and this." This chick is about to go in. Now, keep in mind with what I just told you guys, and listen to what she says.
But basically, it was a I don't know, long time customer or whatever, and it was a care package of like different used underwear, shoes, and socks. But it was basically what he wanted.
Underwear, shoes, and socks. I've heard that before.
That's kind of big business.
Yeah, it's very big. It's very big business. But that's not what shocked me. What shocks me is coming next.
Wanted in specific was the youngest I could find. So like my gym shoes from 6th grade or
Okay, so you're gonna like yell at guys who are
So
like
specific.
50 attracted to guys just being attracted to 20 years as being pedophiles, but would you not just say you're like
we use the
engaging in
P word?
Yeah,
pedophilic?
they're still gonna
like,
be. He's gonna ask the next
fantasy?
bitch. I can make $6,000. He's
So
gonna just go
don't
ask girl to
like
girl.
do you not
Now, this guy, the reason why she's saying $6,000 is that's how much the guy gave her for the little care package that she gave him. Now, later on in the clip, and it's much later than this than what I'm going to show, but those shoes that she sold him, those alone he paid her $1,500 for.
not shame. I just can't.
Don't shame pedophiles. No, I'll continue to shame
No,
pedophiles.
don't
Thank you.
shame guys for being attracted to 21-year-olds, like no matter their age, and engage in like pedophilic fantasies, bro. You can't tell me like,
please
that's
just
not
stop.
hypocritical.
Just stop.
I
Did you
Just
give
stop,
him the
because
don't
stuff?
understand.
Did you
understand.
give him the stuff?
What?
Yeah, I mailed
She
it to
got
him.
6
And he
You
just
fucking
sent it.
indulged his pedophilic.
Now, watch what he says. You would think this girl would back down. You would think she would back down after this. She didn't.
Fantasies, and then
Do
you're
you not
shaming men for doing
understand
that.
the
You
next-
supported the industry.
Sorry.
You supported it.
I could
The next-
respect it if you want to shame 50-year-olds for being
Maybe
into
she's
20-year-olds,
saying
but don't
a young
sell
girl
your
from
6th
Okay, so
grade
you let me talk.
shoes
You let me
for
talk.
money.
You let me talk. So you're telling me that guy wouldn't
I'm
have just
hearing
gone
you.
from girl to girl to girl asking when I could have made the $6,000? He's gonna just make it from another fucking bitch. Why can't
Listen to what she just said.
I make the $6,000? I needed the fucking money. Sorry, I was broke and poor and want fucking $6,000.
You can, but you're criticizing. Oh, there's all these fucking men
I'm
out here that
criticizing men
want
for
this
being
shit.
pedophiles.
You're criticizing all these men out
You're
here who
also
want
giving them
this
what they
shit, but
want.
you're
Did
supporting
you
it.
forget? Did you
confused.
forget?
supported
Did you
it.
forget he wanted my shoes from 6th grade? Yeah,
No, I heard that.
Yeah.
Did
So
you give
why
it to him?
are you
Did
giving
you give it to him?
What the
yes,
fuck?
for
You supported it. You have
$6,000.
no.
Think about that.
I
She
have
it,
thought
it,
about
it,
it.
it went completely over her head. Even the girls that were backing her up and they were all with her, even they were like, "What the?" You know what? I mean, look at the
Yeah.
look. Look at the look on her face. I mean, even the blonde on the far right, like even she's like, well, "Wait a minute."
Room to criticize this.
He's
You
just gonna go
supported
fucking
it.
do it from anybody else.
You perpetuated this. You
you-
fed into it.
So you know what you sound like right now? You sound like the people who go out and
Someone
they're like,
who just caught you on your
"Can
bullshit.
I finish? Can you please let me finish?
Someone who just caught
Can you
on
let me
your
finish?
bullshit.
Can you let me finish?" You guys sound like the people who go out to eat and they're like, "Oh, I'm not going to tip because I don't believe in tipping culture and how people need to get
Wait,
paid for their wages. So
This
I'm
is
not going to tip."
so
That's what you sound like.
ridiculous.
What in the world? That didn't even make any sense to me.
No, she's trying to make a conflation where there isn't one.
Yeah, she's reaching.
I'm
This
gonna
is
make the fucking
ridiculous.
money.
So
if
how
somebody
much
wants
do
to be a pedophile on my dime,
What?
then fucking so fucking be it. I'm gonna make $6,000
Oh
off
my
my
God.
shoes. So hopefully he doesn't grab some random bitch off the street. Like maybe who knows? Who knows?
Vindicated.
It could be my shoes
Vindicated.
versus him going to assault me a random person.
Chat, let us know what you think about this.
Good
right
night,
now.
Shadow.
Yeah,
Good night.
no, this is where I was. This is where I was lost for words, man. Even looking at this again, I was lost for words.
Now, let us know what you think.
I
This
think
is
that I should
ridiculous.
I think
So
she needs to
there's
shut her
some
fucking mouth.
What?
Yeah,
That's different.
That is true.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
yeah.
I would not send my actual like underage underwear. That's like a little, like that's like crossing
Yes,
the
you
line
would.
to
Don't
me.
lie.
But there's something as age play, which is different. It's two consenting adults. Role playing that
belong
is
in
different than
jail.
sending your actual like underage underwear. That's
They were underage shoes, to clarify. But yeah.
As if that makes it
Yeah.
any better.
You could have told him, no, this is wrong. I'm not
Exactly.
going to do it.
If somebody was like, if you can send me your old beat up Nikes in the back of your closet for $1,500, you're
So
gonna say no.
You're saying your morality has a price. That's what you're telling me.
It's exactly.
It's nothing
what
about
you
being
said.
moral.
Yeah,
It's
no,
my fucking
you
shoes.
said pedophilia is
I would
wrong.
get
You
it.
said it's
Maybe-
wrong that men are
maybe-
attracted
maybe-
to that.
Hold on. Let me,
That argument went on. I mean, you guys see this the whole time. I mean, all the way through, they were fighting and arguing. Now, when Officer Tatum showed the clip, when he showed his clip, it was somewhere around here. It was somewhere around the end. But I couldn't believe it. What do you think?
Well, first I want to address this comment from Alexia, and I get it. I do. When I was in my late 30s, I was let's be euphemistic here, dating someone who was in their early 20s, and I don't mean like 21. I mean like 23, but still, you know. And as it happens, while some of that has to do with just the the natural attractiveness of women at that age. Some of it has to do with the fact that women my own age, and this is a fact, and I know somebody's going to get mad about it, but it is a fact. If they are my age and they are single, there's a fucking reason for it. You know, If they're not tied up with somebody else, they're not married or whatever, they aren't in a long-lasting relationship, then there's a reason for it. And it's just the same is true with men. This isn't a one-way thing. But so yeah, I kind of get that. But I did. I dipped in with I was seeing a young woman who I'm not going to get too into details or anything like that, but she and I had some things that worked really well together. Very attractive woman, by the way. Um, but the fact of the matter was there was a 15-year age gap between the two of us, and our experiences were so vastly different that it just wasn't going to, work out in the long run. We just were, I guess, incompatible in that way. Now, I've seen other couples who are like 20 years apart or whatever, and they've been together forever and it works for them, and that's fine. But I needed somebody a little closer to my own realm of experience, as it turns out. But so I've tried that out, and so I kind of get it. And it is a little weird at first. It really is. I get your point about it being weird, because it is. And I can't necessarily get along with these guys who are like, oh, I'm gonna go find me a 19-year-old girl, fresh out of high school and all that stuff, and make her my wife, and I'm 52 fucking years old and got a string of bad relationships and divorces behind me or whatever. So I don't necessarily get that either. That's I think that's right on the line, if not crossing over it. But yeah, I don't know. It is and it isn't. I mean, the fact of the matter is like 22-year-old women are legal adults. However, if they're older than your own children, it's probably not a good idea. Or if they're younger than your own children. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to touch on that for a minute. Secondly, this young lady in the video that you were just showing me, Larry, I say lady euphemistically because she is obviously no fucking lady. Shame on her.
Yeah.
Shame on her. She is indulging in a practice, encouraging a practice. I mean, it's not like he's going to go put them on display in town square or something like that. He's going to do awful, nasty shit behind closed doors with those shoes. Or who knows? Maybe he's putting them on some kid that he fucking kidnapped.
I hope not. And here's something else that you guys don't know about that girl. And here's what makes it worse. After they got through arguing with her and doing all this stuff, she then tells the panel that she worked with the police and participated in stings with the police where she acted as an underage girl, and for like to catch a predator, she actually participated in those. So so I was like, wait a minute. So you acted as an underage decoy and you participated in stings. So you've seen these guys up front. You've heard the messages. You know what you see. You've gotten glimpses into how their brains are thinking and what's on their minds. And yet you are shaming and falsely identifying older men who are attracted to young legal age women who are old enough to drink. You're calling them pedophiles, but it's okay if they're buying your shoes from when you were in the 6th grade.
Well, and that what that tells me is that she knows full well what she's doing. Like obviously she doesn't know how to argue her point in a way that makes her come off looking like, she's not a fucking complete hypocrite and a dumbass. But I think she knows full well what she's selling to these men.
And there's no way that she could explain what she's doing and defend it. There's no way. You just called men that you don't know pedophiles for being attracted to 21-year-olds. But you would sell those but you sold a real pedophile shoes that you were wearing when you were in the 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, that's beyond being a hypocrite. It's
No, it's
like,
encouraging the whole fucking thing.
yeah, it is. It's like that guy says. So your morality can be bought.
I don't know what her thoughts are, Alexia, but my thoughts are it's fucking perverse.
It is.
Yeah, but yeah, it's. I don't know, man. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I want to go punch somebody. I'm not going to YouTube. I just said I want to.
Oh, then you better be glad there were articles that I took off, and I knew I was like, man, if I he's not gonna sit through that. He's
Yeah,
gonna get off. He's gonna get off, and he's gonna go outside and kick somebody's cat or do something.
yeah, that sounds like me. I don't know. There's a whole side of YouTube that I fucking avoid like the plague if I can help it because of this shit. Because not specifically this topic, but because when they got like 8 women slutted up sitting around the table talking about how shit men are. Hey, I don't want to listen to that shit. I don't want to listen to it from the other side either. So when you got a bunch of dudes sitting around talking about how shit women are, I just don't. It's not for me, kind of thing.
Well,
So
it's not a productive conversation, and you're grouping all these people into under one umbrella because you're pissed off at a few that you've dealt with personally. It's kind of like I know this is separate, but that cartoonist, the Dilbert cartoonist, what he just did, that guy. So and I've been seeing that. You heard about that, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, Scott Adams. Mhm.
yeah.
I
Real
didn't
quick.
delve into it. I've seen a lot of the cancel Scott Adams shit come out in the last day or so.
I mean, honestly, like I listened to what the guy was saying. I don't think that his life needs to be destroyed. Now I understand. I'm looking at what he's saying. Like, well, that's his choice. But I kind of thought it was funny that when you look at these polls, I never really pay attention to them because they're always presented as if people who take these polls represent the entire country or represent an entire segment of the population. And he used to back up his argument. To me, what he used was the equivalent of me going back to college and using Wikipedia for the source for the source of all my papers. um, but he used a poll and Don Lemon. He quoted something Don Lemon said, and he used a poll. And apparently, in the poll, as you know, it said that they like I think it was somewhere between 40 and 50% of the black people who took that poll decided that white people were racist. Didn't say why. Didn't ask under what circumstances.
I
You
think
know,
the question was, is it okay to be white?
I don't know. I'm just going by what he was saying was that he took it as somewhere between 40 and 50% of them said that it wasn't okay to be white,
Mhm. Yeah.
and I just looked at it as okay. So you are making a judgment about an entire race of people based off of somewhere between 400 to 500 people.
That's kind of what polls are for, is for making sweeping judgments of entire demographics.
Right, which is why I never pay attention to them.
Yeah, because they're not accurate at all.
Yeah, and he said that he lived in a bad neighborhood. He lived in a neighborhood where all this stuff was happening, but he didn't go into any details. And I was like, okay, well, I'm black and I've lived in black neighborhoods, and um, my neighborhoods were pretty safe. So I don't know where he was living. The neighborhood that I live in right now is majority of them are black. We have a couple of young white couples and a bunch of white elderly couples and some elderly singles. And yeah, no crime in my neighborhood. So I don't know where he was living at. Or what he was trying to do. I'm not saying that nothing happened, but I just kind of looked at I was like, all right, well, all right, Dilbert. Well, that was very brave of you to say what you said. You must have determined that you are financially set. Um, or maybe you figure, Kanye's a billionaire again, apparently. Maybe he feels like he can say what he said, and maybe he'll bounce back like Kanye, and maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't know. I don't think the man's life should be destroyed over it. It's obvious that something happened to him,
Yeah. Well, I
but
don't. I agree. I don't think his life should be destroyed over it, but it's going to be.
yeah, and that's unfortunate. I don't think that's necessary. I really don't. Now, instead of asking the man what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, but moving on.
Well, part of the reason that they're going to go so hard after Scott Adams, like they have been going so hard after Scott Adams, is because he is a very smart man who also believes that everyone else is so much dumber than he is, and he rubs people the wrong way. And they've been looking for any excuse to take him down for a while now. And he slipped up. He gave him an opening.
Yeah, he did, and that's one of the main things that I was hearing about other people in this industry. They were like, don't feel sorry for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, he's not the nicest guy in the world.
No, he's kind of a prick, actually. But again, he shouldn't have his whole fucking life destroyed because he said something that the handful of fucking asshats on Twitter didn't like.
Yeah. With that said, next topic. You guys, and I'm cutting it short because I think, well, not cutting this topic short, but I think I at least want to leave you something for Saturday, because I don't think that this particular topic is going to I don't think it's gonna stop. I think it's gonna continue to gain steam, and by the time your show comes around on Saturday, you'll have plenty to discuss if you want to talk about it.
Hmm.
Now, as for you guys in the chat, I have a question for you. Have you guys ever been in a situation where perhaps, whether you're married, if you're not married, was there a time where you were with somebody and you had to go out of town, and you knew you were going to be gone for a while, and that could be tough, especially if you're a newer couple and the two of you really like each other. Like that happened to me once with my ex. My ex was not an American citizen. She had went to visit her family back from where she was from. She was gone. She was gone for about a month, and then the day that she came back, I was going out of town the next morning. So I picked her up late that night, went home, slept for a couple of hours, and then I had to leave. And she was so sad because she was like, "Man, I haven't seen you in a month, and now you're about to be gone for like a week or two." You know.
Mm-hmm.
But have any of you ever been in a situation where you were going out of town, or somebody that you loved were going out of town, and you knew it was going to be a good amount of time before you saw them again, and some nights you kind of want to cuddle them, you wish you could kiss them, you know give them a hug or whatnot. Any of you guys ever go through that? What about you, Sam?
Well, when I was married, it wasn't really a concern. Like I think part of the reason that it didn't work out was because we never really gave each other space away from each other very much.
Mhm.
So anytime one of us left town, the other one went with, whatever the reason was. So that wasn't really a concern there. In other relationships, nah. I think with my ex-wife, before, like when we we're first starting to get serious, but before we were engaged, kind of thing. Yeah, that was a thing, because I still lived in another state when we met. And I had to go back and take care of stuff, and we were apart for about a month while I was getting my stuff together and my affairs in order and getting ready to move and that kind of thing. But generally, no. But I'm probably not the best person to ask, because I'm more of an out of sight, out of mind kind of dude.
Yeah, no, that's why.
If I don't speak to or see a person regularly, I will eventually start to forget their name and their face. And it's not good, and I'm not happy about it, and that's not something I'm proud of, but it is kind of the way my mind works. So
so What about you guys in the chat? Keep in touch long distance. All right, Michelle. But Carrie, you're just like Sam. You're the love them and leave them type anyway. So anyway, the reason why I was asking, sharing the screen again. The Chinese feel that we are, we're all prone to being lonely. So they've come up with this.
Wait. I'm looking at the headline here. That's their first question. Where's the tongue? What? Why is that the first question? No. The first question should be what the fuck, and the second question would be why. Not where's the tongue. Oh.
So Alexa says this is old news. I don't know, Alexa. I'm just now seeing this, but as you can see, yeah, February 27th. So it was a few days ago. But I just thought this was so funny. Chinese tech inventor has rolled out a new kissing device that allows monogamous lovers separated by long distance to virtually smooch using silicone lips as internet users divided as many pan the weird contraption as downright creepy.
I saw another movie from Netflix not too long ago called The Bubble, which was about making a movie during the pandemic in total isolation and all that stuff. And there's a guy in there who his brother invented a device so that like to I don't know, to help with like amputees or something, or surgeries where you had to stay away and all that stuff. But anyway, basically what ended up being is a mechanical hand that someone else could operate. Guess what it was used for? Ultimately, guess what it was sold and used for?
I don't want to say it.
I think everybody here knows.
Oh my gosh. But you
Yeah.
know what? The funny thing is I was reading it. That's how this thing works. It works by some kind of remote on your phone, right? So I'm thinking, I'm like, if you look at this, right? It's like, okay, you've got the cell phone hooked up, but what is she kissing? It's like, so what is supposed to be some kind of silicone little suction device, right?
That looks like Ma, close your ears. That's a pocket pussy.
That's what I think.
That's what that is. They make them oh no. Oh no. No. Not with the music.
Hold on,
Let's see. Yeah, that's so one of my sisters sells sex toys for a living. Trust me when I say that she sells devices like this that they don't hook up to your phone, but that's not what they're for.
Is this playing? Hey, is this playing in her store every day?
Well, no, it's not. She's more of a metalhead, so she doesn't go in for the kind of noirish stuff man, that just looks creepy. Are the Chinese just trying to out creep the Japanese when it comes to sex androids?
I heard. You know what? I saw a video on that last week. That creeped me to hell. This guy had a doll. He was sleeping with it. He was taking it to bed, and he got interviewed, and he was like, he had a name for it and everything, and he was just like, she never cheats on me. She's always home, and he was serious.
Yeah.
What's next to do remotely? When Twitter wondered, prompting another. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. Nah, this for wieners. It's a genius invention, but where's the tongue?
Again, why is that the first question? That was like right at the top of the headline.
the inventor's name is surname Jiang. He was inspired to create it while being separated from his long-distance girlfriend for 7 years. He designed the device so that it could operate only with the consent of both parties. It also activates when paired up with one sender and one receiver at a time, so users can't send unwanted kisses to those who are not receptive. So if she gets mad at you, it's gonna be a dry kiss, buddy. You might even get slapped with a sexual assault case. Can you believe that? Can you believe that?
Yeah, I'm just. I don't know. Science is weird. You know,
Now,
there's an age-old saying. Is like I guess maybe not an age-old saying, but it's something that everybody should consider before making devices like this. Just because we can do something, does that mean we should? I mean, really?
Maybe not. Now, here's one. Here's one. This is a topic that I call blame it on the alcohol.
Blame it on the booze.
And see,
yeah.
Now, see, guys. Now this one tripped me out because I didn't think this could happen.
Okay.
Load it
What?
up. Kaboom. Jack Daniels has a couple of whiskey factories, right? Where they make whiskey. Well, apparently some fungus has been growing from the factories, and the people who live in the area are now complaining because this fungus is now getting on everything. It's fueled by ethanol, so it's it's feeding off of ethanol and growing. It's thrived for centuries around distilleries and bakeries. It's been the source of complaints from residents who live near Kentucky bourbon distilleries, Canadian whiskey makers, and Caribbean rum manufacturers. Now it is driving a wedge between some residents of Lincoln County, Tennessee, and Jack Daniels, the famed distillery founded in 1866 in neighboring Moore County. So this 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 mess, whatever you want to call it,
Hey, Richard.
it's apparently it's getting on everything. For months, some residents have complained that a sooty, dark crust has blanketed homes, cars, road signs, bird feeders, patio furniture, and trees as the fungus has spread uncontrollably, fed by alcohol vapors wafting from charred oak barrels of aging Jack Daniels whiskey. This is their cocaine bear. They they can't stop it.
Well, what have I told you about fungus? Like you can never stop it. It's not neither plant nor animal. There is evidence to suggest that it may in fact be intelligent. The mycelial network we suspect is actually a real thing and not just some shit idea in Star Trek Discovery, or STD as I like to call it. Shit's terrifying. I mean, just look at the things like the cordyceps, for example. And that's just one example among many. Like there's another fungus, and I don't recall the name of it, but it doesn't take over the brain so much as it induces pleasant hallucinations while it digests you, kind of thing. You can't trust fungus, man. That's why I don't eat mushrooms.
Please enjoy this hallucination while I eat you from within.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, look at this, man. 35,000 residents, building 7th on the property. I mean, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, Suka, if I remember right, Last of Us was actually inspired by the cordyceps fungus. Which, if you guys don't know what that is, look it up. It's jacked up.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, Lexi, I got your link. I will. I don't think I'm going to pull it up here now, but
Go ahead if you want to. Go for it.
I mean, I guess we can. And Michelle, as far as the things you sent me, I can't get them to play at all. So we'll take a look at them after the show. Let me. This is apparently from the Big Bang Theory. I suppose I should unmute that. All right.
I don't know about this, Howard.
What? You're having trouble with the long-distance lovemaking? This is your answer. There are two interfaces that simulate a human mouth. You have one. Priya has one in India. When you move your lips and tongue on yours, it transmits exactly what you're doing to hers. See? Internet kissing.
So
it's like Shadowhawk.
This TV, it does. This TV show predicted. You know what? I've said this before too. China, modern China, mind you, modern China does not innovate anything. They backwards engineer flat fucking steel ideas.
Well, I mean, we all know that, though.
Yeah, but you'll notice right over here, it has a tongue.
It must be French.
yeah. It's. Oh, look, the tongue moves.
Try. I don't think so. I'll try it.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I think we get the picture.
Thanks, Kohai.
That wasn't Kohai. That was Alexia.
Was it? Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'm still thinking Kohai anyway. Thanks, Kohai. I guess I gotta thank you too, Alexia.
Yeah. There was definitely tongue there. That was, yeesh. So, but yeah.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How's your weather
right now? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I thought you'd be. I thought you guys would be. You know, just overrun with snow because of the storm.
We still got we've still got massive piles of this shit everywhere, and there's still a fair amount of black ice just coating certain streets. But a lot of that melted off today in the sun, and it's. I mean, even right now, it's almost 11 p.m. here. It's 34 degrees out. So it's actually kind of nice for the beginning of March.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. That snow's been hitting. I saw there's a video of snow and hail in Disneyland, and I've been in that area. I've been to that Disneyland. And we're talking in California, Southern California,
Mm-hmm.
just outside, pretty much. I think it's Orange. I want to say it's Orange County, but it was snowing. It was snowing and hail and snow in Disneyland.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that was coming last week.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was gonna be like that. I mean, they're they're really getting it, but I didn't know it was gonna be like that. You know, I mean, they're getting pelted. There's videos. This one guy, he was trying to get home, and there was this dog walking in the snow, and it was just like half a tunnel of snow, and it was unpaved. Because I mean, of course, it's California. I mean, they don't have snow plows and all that. You know, they don't have that type of equipment. So this guy is driving his car through just straight up snow, just feet and feet and feet of snow. It's just crazy what's going on.
Richard, as far as the tornado stuff, yeah, I heard they were tearing up Oklahoma and Kansas and Missouri too, just a couple days ago. just because the weather's been unseasonably warm.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I've been reading over. They were saying over in the south, they're getting hit with tornadoes and they're getting
Mhm.
hit with baseball-sized hail.
Yeah, that's what he was just saying. He said they had tornadoes in central Texas here
Yeah,
just recently.
I had a tornado warning where I'm at. I had a tornado warning last week.
Mhm.
No, I'm sorry, not last week. Monday.
Yeah. I don't know. We haven't had any of that. Mostly we just get ice and rain that turns into ice. Like you haven't. I mean, I know the weather in your part of the world can get a little wild too. There's parts of Wyoming where ice storms happen like you haven't ever seen. I mean, maybe in Canada and certain places or Alaska, they might have seen something like this. I don't know. Alaska is actually a lot of Alaska is pretty close to sea level, so they don't see a lot of this either. Um, where you've got like 3-inch shards of ice flying horizontally so fast it's almost a whiteout.
Mhm.
You know, it's the kind of thing where it looks really pretty, but if you step outside of your house, it will literally shred you to death.
Mm.
Yeah, super fucking fun. Yes, Richard, I am in Wyoming. Oh,
I
big
think he
state.
wants to ask you, why are you in Wyoming?
Yeah. Open carry, no permit for concealed carry. You know,
Yeah.
there are good reasons to be here. The weather is not one of those reasons. The weather sucks. No.
Well, you need to be armed, especially you, since you like to tie rattlesnakes to cars and drive around with them on your
I
axle.
didn't tie a rattlesnake to this car. Where the fuck was I gonna find a Western Diamondback in Wyoming? They don't live here. We have prairie rattlers and we have timber rattlers. We don't have Western Diamondbacks.
California, you
Yeah.
transported it.
Why in the hell would I go to California ever?
You had Carrie bring it to you.
Yeah. When I was a kid, yeah, I played some street hockey. I never played ice hockey. But I can skate. I just never really got into the hockey thing. But I watched a lot of hockey. Also, I'm really tall. My center of gravity is ridiculously high. Very easy to tip over on skates. It's probably the best that I didn't, play hockey. So, but yeah, it's I don't know. There's a lot of baseball out here too, actually. A lot of baseball, a lot of hockey. It's all minor league stuff, but yeah, it's not as much basketball as you might think. I mean, we have a lot of very tall, athletic people out here, but of course, you got to keep in mind too. Like most of the year is spent towards preparing for certain kinds of sports. Not like our JV stuff and our high school sports and all that is all very. It's kind of intense, the amount of fandom that they have, just because there's not a fucking else a lot to do but pay attention to that stuff around here, and our population is such that odds are you probably know 1 or 3 kids on any given team.
Yeah.
So you go support local teams and all that stuff, but there's a lot of like 4-H stuff and rodeo stuff out here too. Although you get more of that in the western and the southern parts of the states, and more in the northern and the eastern parts of the states, it's a lot more of the junior varsity or the high school stuff, less of the rodeo stuff. Although it does happen all over the place.
Yeah. Richard, I live in Gotham City.
So basically, their pastime is crime and getting the shit beat out of them by a guy who dresses like a bat. Do we tip cows out here? Only when we're drunk. Only when you're super drunk and you stumble across a cow in a field. It's generally not a good idea to mess with somebody's livestock. It's a good way to get shot. So
Yeah. Hey, Richard, everybody hates Wyoming's football program.
yeah. Well, and what's what's kind of funny about that is like even on a high school level, like people don't like our teams outside of Wyoming very much, and there's intense rivalries here too because our teams have nothing to fucking do but practice, and they're really competitive.
Oh yeah. Richard, everybody's straight edge out here. No alcohol. That should that should tell you where I live.
So, but yeah, no, Wyoming's a trip. There's, most of the amateur sporting events though, consist of like hiking, fishing, hunting, um, that kind of thing. There's other kinds of competitions. I think in certain parts of the western part of the state, there are like crafts competitions and that kind of thing. And then there's one town that is famous for its chili cook-off every year.
Chili.
Yeah, yeah. People come from all around to participate in the chili cook-off. Thing is, and I'm not going to name the place. I'll tell you later off the thing. But let me just put it this way: if y'all are ever traveling through Wyoming and you see signs in the summer that say, "Hey, come join our chili cook-off," don't.
Why?
Because
you'll be there.
No, I'm reasonably certain the town is full of inbred cannibals. I'm just saying that meat might not be beef. Yeah, I'll tell you more about it later offline. But yeah, don't stop and do the chili festival thing.
Okay. Hold on.
Especially
Okay.
in the middle of the night, because you might not leave.
All right, wait a minute. Whoa. Let's save that for next week's show because as it is, we're actually out of time. So guys, we're not even going to be able to get to the trivia. That's going to have to roll over to next week. But let's. I'm actually writing that down because now I've got to hear about this. This is crazy. The Wyoming hills have eyes.
Yeah, I mean it's not really widely known because most of the locals know to avoid the place, and most of the tourists. I mean, it's a small place, so unless they've got signs saying they had a gas station a while back. I think they've since rebuilt something in its place, but for a long time they didn't have one because some drunk dude who was wearing nothing ran his car through it and blew it up. So anyway, folks, Wyoming is not as boring as the coastal residents would have you believe it is.
No, they have flaming cobras there. And dizzy rattlesnakes that fall off of axles, courtesy of Samuel the Infamous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man!
Yes, Beak, you guessed correctly. It is Chugwater. Yeah.
What in the world? What's Chugwater?
That's the name of the place. Chugwater, Wyoming. Yeah. So, Michelle, I will forward. I'm forwarding him the email, but I don't think we're going to bring that up tonight. No.
Yeah, that's gonna have to roll over to.
We'll see. We got to get him working first because I can't seem to get him working anyway. But we will see. No promises. Probably, honestly, Michelle, the best thing to do to share stuff like this would be like you'd said you were going to start up your own channel at one point. I think that I'd have no problem like shilling that, but I think that right now that's not like I can't get the damn things to work. It should be on their way to you, man. We'll talk about it after the show. So.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you then. And you know what? The fact is, it's like it's not that festival. Other people who don't live in Chugwater go there and they participate in the festival. It just you don't know for sure, and that's where I think we'll discuss it another time. But yeah,
Beak, you might have drank a spleen.
Yeah.
Or ate a sausage or a butt cheek or something.
I don't know about torturing them, but I have no problem eating them. Rattlesnake's good. So, but you're in Texas, right, Richard? You've got a fair amount of rattlers down there too. I think actually you get diamondbacks in Texas. I don't know about Central Texas, but I think Western Texas does. So. Yeah. All right. So thanks for coming, y'all. Really appreciate it. And this was good time. This was fun. Larry, you have something to plug tomorrow.
Yes. Yours truly will be on Friday night's Royal Rumble with Joker Voice, Shadowhawk, Ryan. I always forget Ryan's
Legion.
I always forget his channel name, but I just like to call him Ryan. But it's on Legion Talk tomorrow night. I believe it's around 7:30. But it's Friday night's Royal Rumble. The Hijabi Gamer is gonna be on there. He's got a special guest. You guys come through, show some love. We're gonna hit it hard. We're gonna talk about that blank taker bell that I just saw. Yeah, I'll just keep my comment because I when I saw it, I mean my wife's eyes was big. I went chaotic truth when I saw that thing. I was like, oh man, okay. And I'm just biting my tongue because I already know what I'm gonna say. I'm probably gonna get Ryan kicked off the air tomorrow. Anyway.
I don't think so. I have heard that man say some shit on his channel that probably should have gotten him kicked off, and I myself have said things on his channel that probably should have gotten him kicked off by now. So I think you'll be fine. But
yeah, ooh, Richard. Yeah, the Diamondbacks are bad enough, but man, those moccasins and those the cottonmouths, forget that.
Yeah, Richard. So my dad lives in Southern Illinois, and they cottonmouths get up into the trees there, and of course, as you know, they're heavy snakes, right? And they just fall out of trees on people walking below them and fucking bite the shit out of them. It's fucked up. Fucking cottonmouths are one of the few species of snakes that will attack because they can, because they're feeling aggressive, because they're feeling froggy, or just because they feel like biting something at fucking random. They're one of the few that won't. They're mean fucking snakes.
Yeah, they are.
And they're deadly too, which is super fun. So, yeah, they are. That's one of the water moccasins. My mother knew a guy who went cave diving in Oklahoma decades and decades ago, and he came up in an underwater cave like he'd misjudged where he was, after the landing. Not cave diving, cliff diving. I'm sorry. And anyway, he came up in a fucking nest in an underwater cave, and by the time they found him, he had something like 300 different sets of punctures from different sets of fangs, and he was so bloated and black they couldn't recognize him.
I'll bet. Did he live?
No, he was very dead when they found him. No, it took him.
I can't imagine the kind of pain that man was in. I mean, the bites alone.
Well, and it's a neurotoxin too, like most pit vipers. So it attacks your nervous system, which means racking spasms so hard that you'll probably break your back, foaming at the mouth. I mean, like you're talking like the grand mal of the grand mal seizures. Especially with that many bites. They're fucking bastard snakes. So sorry, Alexia. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, all right. So we will check out the Legion Talk tomorrow. Our very own Larry will be on panel for that, and who knows, you might even see a wayward me step in at some point if I got time. I don't know that I will, but and then we'll be back here Saturday for Screaming Into the Void, which I think Joker Voice is going to be on because we're going to talk a little bit more about Cocaine Bear then. And yeah, well, we'll see you later. It's been good. Have a great night, and remember, it could be worse. It could be rain of flaming rattlers.
Yeah.
What is it?